So, um, if you reach into your pocket or look in your bag right now, you will probably find a tiny rectangular box.
Yeah, almost definitely.
And inside this little glass box are all your friends, your family, your maps, your favorite music, and your games. I mean, it is basically a pocket universe.
It really is. You carry a whole world with you everywhere you go.
Right. But I have to ask, is this pocket universe trapping us? Are we carrying it or, well, is it dragging us along?
Well, we built this tiny universe for convenience. We wanted a tool to make life easier.
Absolutely.
But you are right, the relationship has definitely shifted. We like things we can control, but recently it often feels like the device is the one pulling the strings.
Yeah, it's like we hired a highly efficient employee to help us with our daily tasks, but somehow that employee became our boss.
That is exactly how it feels. It demands our attention, it interrupts our conversations, and it tells us when to wake up.
So today we are doing a deep dive into our relationship with our most constant companion, the smartphone.
And we are looking at some great sources today that focus on everyday habits, technology addiction, and practical language learning strategies.
Right. We want to understand how it changed our behavior, the hidden costs to our daily focus, and most importantly, how we can turn this boss back into an employee.
Specifically, an employee that helps you, the listener, master the English language.
Exactly. And because our focus today is on helping you learn, we are keeping this conversation clear and accessible.
Yes, we are going to speak at a natural, comfortable pace, using simple but real English.
So this is your listening practice, combined with some really practical strategies for your daily life.
Let us go back in time for a minute. To understand our dependence on our phones today, we need to remember how innocent these devices used to be.
Oh, right. Think back to the era of the very first cell phones. I am picturing the old Nokia brick phone.
Oh, wow, yes. Heavy, thick, and covered in actual physical buttons.
You had to press them hard with your thumb. There was no smooth glass touchscreen.
And the screen itself was tiny, just green and black.
No internet, no Wi-Fi, no cameras. If you went on vacation and wanted a picture, you had to pack a separate camera in your suitcase.
The phone really only did two things. You could make a phone call, or you could send a short text message.
Well, there was the game Snake.
Oh, Snake. Just a little line of black pixels moving around a green screen.
Eating dots and getting longer. I mean, I used to play that for hours.
It was so simple.
Yeah.
But the contrast with today is almost scary.
Right, the modern smartphone has swallowed everything. It swallowed the camera, the heavy desktop computer, the music player, the alarm clock.
And for English learners, it even swallowed the heavy paper dictionary and the classroom teacher.
It really became an everything machine.
And, when you create a machine that does everything, you change human behavior. Take navigation, for example.
Right, in the past, driving in a new city meant pulling over and fighting with a giant paper map.
Trying to fold it back together, or having to ask a stranger on the street for directions.
Now, you just seek into the air and ask your voice assistant, where is the nearest coffee shop?
And it guides you step by step.
I like to think of it as a Swiss Army knife that suddenly grew a brain.
That is a great way to put it. It is a multi-tool that thinks for us.
But what does that actually do to us? Did we lose our sense of independence when we let one single device replace all our other tools?
We definitely traded self-reliance for comfort. When you used a paper map, you had to build a mental model of the city in your head.
You had to plan ahead and use your own sense of direction.
Today, your brain does not need to do that work. The phone does the planning.
And because the phone handles every single task, we just become completely dependent on it.
Right. We forget how to navigate, how to wait patiently, or how to entertain ourselves with just our own thoughts.
And because it handles every task, we naturally never put it down. It is always in our hand or in our pocket.
This constant physical connection is what leads directly to the psychological side effects our sources talk about.
Let us look at the universal morning routine. You wake up, you reach over to the bedside table to turn off the phone alarm.
And because the phone is already in your hand, well, you just stay there.
Right. Your thumb automatically opens your messages, then you check the weather.
Then you open social media. Before you even stand up from your bed, before your feet touch the floor, your brain is flooded with a massive amount of information.
And that checklist never stops. Throughout the day, we are messaging friends on WhatsApp or WeChat.
We are watching short videos. We sit down at a nice restaurant, and before we taste our food, we take a photo of it.
We are constantly feeding our brains with audio, video, and text.
And this constant feeding loop creates a very strong emotional attachment.
So if you leave your house to go to the grocery store and you realize you left your phone on the kitchen table, what happens in your body?
Total panic. You feel naked.
It's like you forgot to wear your shoes or you were missing an arm. It's a very physical anxiety.
That anxiety comes from a loss of connection to the world. We feel isolated without it.
But the irony is this intense connection to the digital world often forces us to disconnect from the real people standing right in front of us.
Yes, our sources highlight a specific social problem here. There is a term for it, phubbing.
Phubbing. That is a combination of the words phone and snubbing.
Right.
Which means to ignore someone.
Exactly. So phubbing is when you snub someone in favor of your phone.
You are sitting at a dinner table with your family. Instead of talking to the people sharing a meal with you, you are looking down at your screen, scrolling.
But why does that hurt so much? I mean, if I am reading a newspaper at the breakfast table, people accept it.
Right. But if I am scrolling on my phone, it makes the other person feel terrible.
It comes down to how human brains are wired for connection. We connect through eye contact and shared attention.
When you break eye contact to look at a glowing screen, you are sending a biological signal to the other person.
You are telling them they are less important than whatever is in your hand. It triggers feelings of social rejection.
A newspaper is static, but a phone is dynamic. It implies you are actively engaging with someone or something else instead of them.
That makes perfect sense. And the impact is not just social, it is physical too.
People are staying awake until 1 in the morning, staring at their screens in the dark.
And it completely destroys their sleep quality because of the blue light.
The mechanism behind this is fascinating. The screen of your phone emits a bright, blue-toned light.
Right. And for millions of years, the only source of blue light was the sun.
So when this artificial blue light enters your eyes at midnight, it tricks your brain.
Your brain says, oh, there is bright light. The sun must be up. It is daytime.
So it stops producing melatonin.
Exactly. Melatonin is the chemical that naturally makes you feel sleepy. The phone blocks it.
You stay awake longer. You feel exhausted the next day.
And what do you do when you are tired? You lack the energy to do complex tasks, so you reach for your phone for easy entertainment.
The cycle repeats itself. Okay, I hear all of this, the sleep problems, the phubbing, the panic.
Right.
But I want to push back a little bit on a word people always use, addiction. Everyone says we are addicted to our phones.
It is a strong word.
But is it really an addiction? Or is it just a perfectly normal reliance on a tool that modern society requires us to use?
That is a fair question.
Think about it this way. I use my refrigerator every single day to keep my food cold. I would be very upset and anxious if my refrigerator broke.
Right, of course.
But I do not say I am addicted to my refrigerator.
That is a brilliant comparison, and you are right to challenge the word addiction.
Because the phone is a required tool for modern life.
You need it for your job, for banking, for boarding an airplane. We rely on it heavily.
Just like we rely on a refrigerator or a car.
However, we have to look at the difference between utility, using a tool for a purpose, and compulsive behavior.
Compulsive meaning doing something again and again because you feel an uncontrollable urge to do it, not because it is actually useful.
Precisely. You open your refrigerator when you are hungry or when you need to put away milk. You use it for a clear job.
But with a phone, you might open Instagram, look at it, close it, and then open it again 10 seconds later.
You are looking for a tiny hit of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical.
Dopamine. The same chemical released when people play a slot machine at a casino.
Yes. Your refrigerator is not engineered by thousands of tech developers to keep you staring at your food.
Right. But your phone's software is specifically designed to capture your attention and hold it for as long as possible.
The notifications, the red badges, the endless scrolling, these are all psychological hooks.
The refrigerator does not send me a loud buzzing notification at 10 at night saying, hey, come look at this apple again.
Exactly. And that brings us to the most exciting part of this deep dive.
We have established that the phone is a master at capturing your attention. It's a very sticky trap.
But rather than just feeling guilty about it, we can flip the script.
How can you, the listener, weaponize that constant attention?
If the phone is going to capture your focus anyway, how can you turn this habit into an automated way to master the English language?
This is where the boss becomes the employee again. Our sources outline 4 specific strategies to turn your phone into your best English teacher.
And the first tip is incredibly simple. Change your phone's operating language to English.
Most people naturally keep their phones set to their native language.
But if you go into your system settings and change the entire phone to English, You forcefully change your digital environment.
You will see words like settings, battery, notifications, network, and display dozens of times a day.
It is a great way to immerse yourself.
But let me ask a skeptical question here. If I change my phone to English, am I actually learning those words?
What do you mean?
Well, am I just relying on muscle memory because I already know where the buttons are? For example, I know the battery icon is in the top right corner. Am I learning the word battery or just tapping the place I always tap?
It is a very valid question. It is true that muscle memory gets you started. Your fingers know the shape of the menus.
Right.
But this is where a concept called incidental learning comes in.
Incidental learning, meaning learning something by accident or without trying.
Yes. Human beings learn vocabulary best through context. When you tap the gear icon because your muscle memory tells you to, your eyes still see the word settings at the top of the screen.
Your brain automatically connects the physical action, the visual icon, and the English word.
Over time, that daily, low-effort repetition locks the word into your long-term memory. You learn the vocabulary without studying it.
It is brilliant because it requires zero extra time in your day. Now, the second tip is about speaking.
Use the voice-to-text feature. Instead of typing a text message to your friend with your thumbs, tap the little microphone icon and speak the message out loud in English.
This is perhaps the ultimate pronunciation test. The phone's software is a very honest judge.
If you speak into the phone and it types the correct words on the screen, you know your pronunciation is clear.
If an AI software can understand you, a human being definitely will.
It can be pretty funny, too.
Oh, yeah. I remember once I tried to use voice to text to say, I want to eat a pear, like the fruit.
And what happened?
The phone typed, I want to eat a bear. It really showed me I needed to work on my P and B sounds.
It is a free speaking coach right in your pocket. It gives you immediate feedback.
The third tip changes how you interact with social media. We all know the feeling of doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling. That is when you just swipe and swipe, looking at endless videos or bad news.
Feeling like a zombie, and suddenly an hour has passed.
Right. But you can train the algorithm. The software learns what you like to watch.
If you intentionally start following English-speaking creators, people who make fun, one-minute videos about cooking or travel or comedy,
the algorithm will start feeding you English content.
You turn doom scrolling into learning scrolling.
You are still getting that dopamine hit from the short videos, but now you are absorbing real conversational English.
You hear the slang, the jokes, the natural speed of native speakers.
And this leads right into the fourth tip, passive listening.
This involves listening to English audio while your body is doing something else.
Which is exactly what you are doing right now. You can listen to deep dives like this one while you are commuting on the train.
Or walking the dog, or washing the dishes.
The mechanism here is about brain rhythm. Every language has its own unique music, a rhythm of stressed and unstressed sounds.
Passive listening helps your brain get used to the natural sound of English, even if you do not understand every single word.
It trains your ear. And all of these tips point to a golden rule from our sources.
Using your phone for just 15 minutes of English practice every single day is vastly superior to studying for 3 hours just once a week.
Consistency beats intensity. And there is a biological reason for this, related to something called spaced repetition.
When you learn a little bit, then sleep, then review it the next day, your brain builds much stronger neural pathways.
A 3-hour cram session might help you pass a test tomorrow, but you will forget the words next week.
A 15-minute daily habit changes the physical structure of your brain over time.
It is amazing. The very same device that distracts us can actually rewire our brains for a new language if we just set it up correctly.
But we have to look at the bigger picture here. Turning the phone into a learning tool is powerful.
But to truly benefit, we still need boundaries.
We cannot just study English until 2 in the morning and ruin our sleep. We still need to reclaim control over our time.
Because if we lack boundaries, the phone remains the boss. We need rules to put it back in the employee role.
Our sources suggest some very practical ways to find this balance. The first is utilizing the built-in screen time features.
Most smartphones can track exactly how many hours you spend looking at the screen, and you can set it to give you a daily report.
I have to admit, seeing a notification that says your screen time today was 4.5 hours is a shock.
It triggers a very healthy sense of guilt.
It forces you to realize how much of your day simply vanished into the screen.
That shock is a necessary wake-up call. It breaks the illusion.
Another powerful strategy from the sources is implementing phone-free Sundays.
This sounds almost radical today. On a Sunday afternoon, you simply take your phone, put it inside a drawer,
Close the drawer, and walk out the front door for a couple of hours.
And when you go on that walk, a key part of the practice is resisting the urge to document your life.
Usually, when we see a beautiful sunset or an interesting building, our first instinct is to pull out the camera.
We want to capture it. We want to prove we were there.
But the moment you look at that sunset through the digital screen of your camera, you are removing yourself from the actual experience.
You are framing it for the future instead of living it in the present.
Exactly. The practice is to go on a walk and deliberately not take photos.
Just look at the trees with your own two eyes. Experience the peace of the moment without trying to save it on a hard drive.
It teaches your brain that an experience is valuable, even if nobody else sees it on social media.
Just looking with your own eyes for peace. That is beautiful.
Another way to enforce boundaries is to substitute screen time with tactile experiences.
Tactile means things you can physically touch and feel in the real world.
We spend all day swiping on smooth, cold glass. To balance that, you need texture.
Instead of reading a digital book on an e-reader, read a physical paper book.
Feel the weight of the paper in your hands. Turn the pages. Smell the ink.
Instead of a digital to-do list, write your tasks down with a pen on paper. This physical engagement grounds you in reality.
It reminds your body that the physical world still exists.
All of this brings us to a core philosophy mentioned in our source material. There is a saying, the phone is a great servant, but a bad master. Use it, but do not let it use you.
A great servant, but a bad master. It perfectly captures your earlier analogy. The phone should be the employee.
It should quietly perform the tasks you assign it, translating a word, giving directions, playing a podcast.
But the moment it interrupts your dinner to show you an advertisement, it is acting like a bad master.
We have to fire the boss and hire the employee.
And taking back that control allows us to enjoy the massive benefits of technology, like mastering English from anywhere in the world.
Without sacrificing our sleep, our relationships, or our peace of mind.
Let us pull all these threads together. We started our journey by looking at the evolution of these devices.
They transformed from heavy, simple bricks meant only for phone calls into a Swiss Army knife that holds our entire lives.
We explored the psychological traps that came with that evolution.
We discussed how dopamine loops cause doom scrolling.
How phubbing destroys human connection by breaking eye contact.
And how blue light tricks our brains into staying awake by blocking melatonin.
But then we shifted the power dynamic. We talked about how you can use this sticky attention to your advantage.
By changing your operating language, practicing pronunciation with voice to text.
Training your algorithm to show you English creators, and using passive listening.
You can build a 15-minute daily habit that relies on spaced repetition and incidental learning.
And finally, we talked about boundaries. Putting the phone in a drawer on a Sunday and choosing paper books over screens reminds us that we are in charge.
But, looking at how fast all of this happened raises a really interesting question for the future.
A question that was not directly answered in our sources, but one we definitely need to think about.
It is the timeline that makes you wonder. The phone went from a green screen game of Snake to a pocket universe in just 20 years.
That is a blink of an eye in human history. Technology accelerates.
So, where will this device be 20 years from now?
That is a wild thought. Will we even carry a physical box in our pockets?
Probably not. The technology might disappear into smart glasses we wear on our faces, projecting screens into the air.
Or worse, it might be built directly into the environment around us, into our walls, our mirrors, or our clothes.
And if the phone is everywhere and completely invisible, how will we ever put it in a drawer on a Sunday afternoon?
How do you take a break from the internet when the internet is the room you are standing in?
Wow. If the technology becomes invisible, setting boundaries might become the hardest challenge humanity faces.
We will not be able to just walk away from it. That is definitely something to chew on.
But fortunately for right now, you still have a physical phone in your hand or in your pocket.
And to close out today's deep dive, we have a specific homework assignment for you.
A chance to put the theory into practice right away.
Your homework is simple. Think of one simple sentence in English about your phone right now.
Just one sentence.
For example, you could say, I use my phone to learn English.
Or maybe, my screen time today was 2 hours.
Say it out loud or write it down on a real piece of paper.
It seems like a tiny action, but remembering our golden rule, small, consistent steps every day create massive results over time.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. We hope it helped you practice your English listening skills while giving you some new perspective on the technology in your life.
The next time you reach into your pocket or your bag and your hand touches that smooth glass box, Remember our conversation today.
It is a pocket universe, yes. It has all your maps, your entertainment, and your English lessons inside.
But always remember, you are the giant who carries that universe in your pocket.
You get to decide when to open it and when to close it so you can look at the real world instead.